Alright guys, welcome back to the Make or Break Shop. This week we're going to talk about all things shims. If you guys are doing any projects inside your house, you know these things are invaluable. If you guys go to the big box store, you're going to pay 45 bucks for a bag of these. But why pay for them when you've got tons of wood scraps usually hanging around in your shop? So let's talk about some ways and some safe ways you guys can get these shims out of the wood you've already got. We're going to talk about 3 different ways. It's like Wolverine. 1 is going to be on the miter saw, 2 is going to be on the jig or circular saw, 3 is going to be on the table saw using a really easy to make jig. Alright, so the first way we're going to talk about cutting a wedge is actually on this miter saw. So the first thing we're going to do is actually adjust the degree mark. Here we're going to set it to 5 degrees, and then you'll just cut it. Alright, so mine isn't super long, as you can see. You can get a wedge just by doing that. So then all you would do is you just flip it the other direction and then cut it again. So as you guys can see, your hand is actually getting really, really close to the blade. So one thing you can do is, this is a jig we're gonna make later, something that goes over the top, then you can either screw it down or you can hold it tight. So then when you cut it, your hand is far enough away from that blade as you're cutting. That's one way you can do it, probably not the easiest or the safest. You wanna make sure you have a way to brace this as you get closer to the edge. The next way, we are going to make a bunch of marks. So you've got those marked out, clamp your piece down, and then you can take a jigsaw or a handsaw or do you think I was serious? That would be dumb. Now, all those ways are great, but it's gonna be pretty hard to get repeatable cuts, and sometimes it takes a really long time to set it up. It may not be the safest thing. So, as always, we're gonna build a jig to actually make it a lot easier to get repeatable cuts. This is gonna be for the table saw. Let's check it out. 3, the first step is I've got a 2x6, and then I'm going to cut this into about 1 foot, so I'm gonna measure 12 inches, and then we're gonna cut it down. And then using one of our earlier pieces as a reference to make a shim shape, and we're actually gonna cut this out of the board. This was 12 inches, so we make these shim 9 inches. And then we're gonna go about 1 inch up, and then we're gonna use a straight edge. Then we're gonna clamp our workpiece, and then we're gonna use a jigsaw to cut this line out. If you guys had a bandsaw, this will be a lot quicker. As you guys know, all construction lumber usually comes with that little rounded corner, so we are going to cut that off. We've got this cut out. This is 3/4 inch plywood that was laying around. Actually already had some holes. The idea is we want to give a little bit of a lip. So if you can imagine, we've got a solid piece of wood chilling in here. The table saw is gonna rip it right here. I want this to actually sit on top just to give it a little bit more something to grab onto. All right, so we've got this glued up. It's gonna be going through the table saw just like this. But to make it a little bit more safe for me, I am going to cut a little handle out of this. And so I'm gonna cut this down to size. Now we're going to make a cut. First we need to position your fence, and you want it to run pretty much snug, and then you want to adjust the height of the blade so it just touches. And then I'm using this as a push stick, keeps your hand away from the blade. Ow. Then you're gonna take a piece of wood, you just gotta make sure it's gonna fit within the slot. And then once you're done, you've got a wedge, you're good to go. All right, so you can see those are 3 different ways that you guys can cut out shims. One thing I would have changed when I made this, I actually had to flip the side that my fence was on the table saw because I glued this the wrong way. Because as you cut this, you want to be on the back. So when that saw blade is going through, it is pushing your piece there. Just flip the other way. You're the one actually having to push that in, and it's not super safe. I had to flip which side my fence was riding against my saw, so I actually had to cut with my left hand instead of my right hand. But still made it work. If If you guys like this, make sure and hit that subscribe button and give me a like below. Also, be sure and check out my other channel called The Make or Break Show, which we have just started. And we are talking with creators in our community about the things that they make, as well as the lessons learned from the things that they break along the way. And we already got a couple up. Hope you guys enjoy it. Talk to you soon. See ya. Or, or, or,